Everybody, I would like to introduce to you the face of modern traditional feminism. This is the wife.
What I love about coming up here is how everyone lives so afraid of me that I might talk. And I think it's the funniest thing ever because everyone walks around kind of like gnawing on their like, oh God, what is she gonna say now? And I think that's a really good sign of stating. I'm doing a good job staying behind my husband, which is really where I'd like to be because that means people don't actually know who I am. And what's very interesting to me is that you asked if I'm going to become a teacher. I want to explain to everybody on the planet, my dream was to become a marine biologist. And because this sort of movement started coming forward, it just totally changed my life. And it turned radical in ways that I never thought was going to happen. In 2014, at the same time that he was starting the convention, I opened up a gym. It was called Defy, and I taught aerial silk. And I was also part of the 350 group, which is they taught, the carbon tax and everything. That was what was being pushed, and that's something that's being pushed on us now. I was a part of that group. I would go out and speak to people. And I was also, on top of that, teaching people to do all these amazing things. But I lived in my brain going, I can't keep doing this. I had such a massive amount of guilt about not helping the planet and not pursuing climate change that I handed over my gym to the girls who I were training, and I went back to school. I will tell everyone now that I walked in a liberal, and not only that, I was into New Age. I will even express right here that I have a tattoo that I was that hardcore into being in the New Age. It's an angel number, and it was like this guiding angel number. And the most interesting thing about this is most people don't realize, we didn't just, hey, Bernie, we brought our kids to the Bernie rally. Okay, it was a family event. And then I entered into school, and I had the blessing, and I will only ever call it a blessing, of the man who was my climate science teacher at OSU was at the Paris Climate Talks in 2014 to the point that he was 2 weeks late coming to our class. And then like a miracle of God, and he gave us that exact same speech. And I was like, oh my God, he spoke to the world leaders. Al Gore was like my hero. And then he said something that I never thought I would ever hear, and it crushed my life. He said to him, when he showed the models, he said, we don't put precipitation into the models of climate change. So basically what he admitted is going, we don't worry about the water of climate. It throws things off. That ruined me because this is what started to happen is I have a core belief inside of myself that you have to research everything. Yes. And as I said to Casey when we started watching Trump, we don't just read things. I believe in going to the source. So when he did this, I would go onto scientific websites and start reading the actual research. And when I started researching things, you're going, holy shit. Yeah. And this isn't about climate change. And that's not what I want to put up here stating. The point here is what makes me a radical is the fact that I refuse to hold on to a name. I don't believe that any of us should be a name. We shouldn't be a color. We shouldn't be an ideal. You should be not who you were 10 years ago. And that's what my whole goal in life was, is to be completely different because otherwise you are standing still. And you have to research things. But don't just research things biasly. I have a firm belief that when I become too hardcore about something, that is time for me to start looking to the other side. And that is how I became a Trump supporter. I was so hardcore in the life that I was leading to the point that I was even a part of the Unitarian Universalist Church. That I started going, I can't do this. My goal in life is to be educated and to be balanced. And so I started watching Trump videos. And as I said, you cannot go to sound bites. Context means everything in life. Go to the source so you can understand for yourself what you are actually thinking. And we are living in a society now that does not do that. And the reason why you see that is because every single Antifa individual down there, go ask them, are you in college? I became a teacher. I'm currently now going to school at a Christian college, completely shut shocked that the liberal ideas are so entrenched in this church that one of their mottos is to be biblically sustainable. What the hell does that mean? You don't get just to use words because someone else thinks they're like, it doesn't make sense. Another thing that we like to tell everybody is that we are a country of immigrants. I can't express to you how much that is a lie that we have believed. We are a group of individuals who moved here because we were being repressed by other countries that we saw the ideal of freedom. And so they came here. And now we are ripping individuals who have that idea in other countries who want to come here from them. And we shouldn't be allowing this. And one of the reasons people fear someone like me is because unlike everyone else, even when I was a liberal, I was going, making 40-year-old women who are just here because they're lonely look hot. So basically they end up cheating on their husband. Really wasn't good enough for me. I went back to school because I wanted to do something. And I will tell every individual on the planet, I walked in a liberal, New Age believer and came out a conservative Christian. Personally, right now, I'm not even claiming onto the conservative side of it because I'm not saying I'm not. I'm saying that I'm pretty hardcore about things, but I'm not going to label myself anything but a Christian. And everyone goes, that's really strange. You're going to be Christian now, so are you preaching? But I will tell you one thing, that I was not a Christian. I went to Lutheran school as a kid, okay? And I was fortunate, and it was a great school. But when I read the Bible, I went to the source. And there was something that completely floored me, and it is my favorite line in the Bible that people do not understand. Jesus said, I did not come to bring peace, I came to bring the sword. And the reasoning behind that is because there were so many people who had infiltrated into the government that would tell you how to live, but live in complete opposite direction, and he was willing to stand up and say, you're a liar. And we'll understand here also that is a Western idealism that we don't even pay attention to. We live in the United States. We forget the United States is the size of Europe. We should be comparing Sweden and California. They're the same size. But unlike Europe, if I wanted to travel from Sweden all the way over to Syria, I couldn't do that. If I wanted to travel from Oregon down to Florida, the worst thing I have to deal with is traffic. That is a massive thing that we are trivializing. We are United States. We have a singular language. We are not concerned about what you look like. We're concerned with where are your ideals. The thing that no one ever discusses when you're a patriot and then you are put down is no one understands where we come from. And the thing that we come from is I love my country so much. I am devoted to my country, I'm devoted to my community, I'm devoted to my state, that if you invade me, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to say, you're not allowed to be here. We'll die here. And what we're asking immigrants who are leaving their countries to go, why are you leaving? We're instantly suspicious. And that's a big point to make. You're going to come here? Well, are you then willing to stand next to me and fight? Because we believe in freedom so much, we will die for it. But beyond that, we believe in freedom so much, we will put our children on the front lines. And that is the ultimate sacrifice. And that ideal comes from Christianity in itself. But I'd like to put a little catch on this, is that I'm not anti-immigration. And one thing I'd actually like to speak out to the patriots about is as we are sitting there going, what's going on with the countries in South America, and what about Europe? We need to have the mindset to remember that if we were now starting to feel the process of our country collapsing, that was just what was already happening across seas. If you don't hear a Muslim say something along the lines as, we don't like Americans, and we don't like this, my suggestion to you is to remember that Iraq and Iran were modern countries back in the 70s where women walked around in miniskirts and they were collapsed underneath the same world government that was now infiltrating and continues to infiltrate us. And we've also developed an idea that if we don't step in, those countries cannot handle themselves. And that is a lie. We are as strong, but we are not any more strong than anyone else in another country. We need to have the faith that they can handle themselves. And it's time for us to step into these countries and not go, we're going to do this, but go, what is it you need?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to end on this because I have a lot to say, and I will state to everybody that I'm entering into the school district because I am sick and tired of watching people talk down to children because of a skin color. I don't want to sit around and worry if a child's an immigrant or not. That's not my job. That is why we put in politicians. But it is my job to tell a kid, you know what, are you struggling in math? Big deal. I see you soar in history or social studies, but we like to label kids now as going, well, because they struggle in something, they must have need special help. It's time to build people up because that was what was special about the United States. It was the work ethic and the grit that pushed us forward, and that is what is not being pushed forward anymore. And what that comes from is being an individual. We may have groups that we see, but they are led by one person. And that's what people fear in me and fear in you, is the fact that you're willing to go, I'll die here, bring on your group. Because we understand that after 100 years after Jesus, it took the Roman Empire down. That's a true story there. And my last thing that I would like to state is that as we see people, as patriots, being annoyed, like today we were talking about how Beto was saying that they're going to take things away from churches if we don't teach gay rights. I'm 100% for gay rights. The problem is I'm also okay with people going, you know what, you can't have it here, because that's what America is about. There's this concept called, get off my lawn. And that's what the people in the liberal side are not getting. We sat here going, it's okay you do that. We're good. We're fine. You're fine. You want to be transgender? You want to dress like a woman? You want to pursue this? Hallelujah, good for you. The problem became when you started putting it on us to start going, now you have to be our way. We are a group of individuals. We need to educate ourselves and not allow that to be took from us. And to remember that at no point were we a color, but growing individuals that needed to evolve on our own personal level for what was right for us. That's because we were made in the image of God, which means we are never ending, we had no beginning, and we have infinite possibilities. Don't let anybody take that from you.